Movsar Evloev on Instagram says, UFC, what are you waiting for? And I'm very curious to see who they're going to match him up with next. Inside of this UFC featherweight division, it's not going to be Topuria. It could very well be one of the guys coming off the losses, though. I'm not thinking Calvin Kattar. He's getting off that really bad injury. Took a lot of damage in his last two fights, especially in that Max Holloway fight a few years back as well. Josh Emmett is looking for one final fight inside of the UFC, and to be honest with you, he's a decent enough match. Stylistically, he's got a good chance of beating a guy like Movsar Evloev in the UFC featherweight division, and I'd say that's where you go. Because you're not going to give him Yair. I think Yair versus Arnold Allen, Yair versus Giga Chikadze, Giga versus Arnold Allen. Any one of those little mismatches would make a very good fight. And you're not going to give him a guy like Calvin Kattar, like I just said. So it comes down to two guys for Movsar Evloev next. And I would say either Josh Emmett for his retirement fight. Maybe he's able to go out there and beat the undefeated rising up-and-comer. Maybe. That would be an amazing send-off to beat a 17-0 undefeated guy and then retire off of that. That's absolutely savage. Or give Brian Ortega a little bit of a reality check and kind of actually put him down on the rankings a little bit, because he lost to Max Holloway 5 years ago, beat Chan Sung Jung 3 years ago, lost to Volkanovski dominantly, except for the submission attempts. Then he lost to Yair Rodriguez, and he is still in the UFC featherweight division rankings at number 3. That's a perfect opportunity to Brian Ortega to clearly cement his spot at number 3. Because right now, he's beaten nobody in the top 15. Absolutely nobody inside of the top 15. He's lost to the champ, to number 1, to number 2. We're not doing him versus Arnold Allen. Ilya deserves a title fight. Josh Emmett, he's probably going to go down on the rankings. Calvin, he's injured. He's probably going to go down on the rankings. Giga, him versus Arnold or him versus Yair. And then we got Movsar Evloev. So I changed my mind. I want Movsar Evloev, Brian Ortega as the main event of a UFC fight night. Why not? I love to see 5 rounds of it. It'd be a good test, a good up-and-comer versus a proven veteran. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of experience, but he is a veteran nonetheless. He has been in the UFC for a long time. Brian Ortega, Movsar Evloev makes some sense, in my opinion.